Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be ignoring the obvious. Well, I've got an email here from a guy he doesn't say how long he's been following my work for, but he's been following it long enough to where he knew about my work, he believed he was implementing it properly before he met his recently ex-girlfriend, or new ex-girlfriend, I should say, who he's been dating for the past 6 months. He said everything was like great for the first 6 months, and then she goes off to college and her behavior just completely does a 180, and he's perplexed. He's thinking, hey, I thought I knew your stuff, and I don't get why she's rubbing another dude in my face, openly texting another guy, and hanging out with another guy wearing his clothes. He goes to visit her. And what's interesting is he reveals some of the things that she had told him when she first met and throughout their time dating. And so there's obvious red flags that this girl has given this guy, but because he became emotionally hijacked by how he felt about her, he doesn't see it. He still doesn't see it, even though he's written this email, and it's so obvious what the real issue happens to be here. So I got a quote that I wrote on this topic, and I'm going to go through his email and see where he went sideways. So the quote says, human beings buy products and services and buy into belief systems based upon emotion, and they use logic and reason to justify their choices and decisions. When we allow ourselves to become hijacked by our emotions because of our interest in someone or something, we lose our ability to remain objective and at choice. Strong emotions can blind us to reality and cause us to willingly ignore the obvious red flags and warning signs that we should avoid someone or something altogether. Even though we may be able to delude ourselves and ignore reality temporarily, it is impossible to avoid the consequences of ignoring reality. And that's basically what this guy did here. I say it all the time, read the book 10 to 15 times, because these little things will pop up in your head, and if you're sloppy, if you're cherry picking, you've just kind of thumbed through the book once or twice and you figure, hey, I'm getting laid, I don't need the rest of this crap. You just get too far down the road, and it's like this email is just, the thing that jumped out at me when I read it was Maya Angelou's quote, where she said, when someone tells you who they are, believe them. And this woman tells this guy exactly who she is. And so her behavior is totally consistent with who she is. But obviously he was projecting his fantasy of who he thought she was, and he just completely ignored the red flags, obviously, until she ditched his ass. So he says, hey coach, my name is Bob, I'm 24, and I'm trying to work out what went wrong with my girlfriend who is 20. We were together for 6 months. In that time, things got pretty damned intense. She would say things like, you're my soulmate, I want to spend the rest of my life with you, I've never loved anyone like I love you, if I was to get pregnant knowing it was yours, well, who else's would it be, I might not have an abortion. If you move to Australia after university, I'll come with you, etc. She would also write things like this on her blog, which she wasn't aware I knew about, so I think she must have meant it at the time. Yeah, at the time when she said it, it's obviously what she was feeling in the present moment. But the idea is, when you're dating somebody, is you want to see what they're really like. And you want to be able to look at their actions and what they actually do. And especially when you first start dating somebody and they start telling you about other people, other relationships that they've had and they've ended, look for things or listen for things like them revealing that they cheated on certain people. Because those are not things that you just can ignore and sweep under the rug. And that's what happened to this poor guy. She starts telling him these things. She even reveals that she had once cheated on a boyfriend, and she also mentioned how she was concerned about them spending time apart when they went off to 2 different colleges together. And if you listen to the context of what she says, it's pretty obvious that loyalty really doesn't mean shit to her. And so at the end of the day, there's lots of people that will say all the right things, but when you look at their actions, it's pretty obvious. Again, this is why you date somebody. Because this guy's 6 months down the road, and he's like, I can't believe she would rub this other dude in my face. I can't believe she's wearing this guy's other clothes. It's like he goes to visit her, and she literally treats him like he's invisible. He's thinking, how can this woman go from saying all these things to me to now I'm invisible to her? So he says, we spent a great deal of time together and with her family, whom I've also lived with for a time. He says, after 6 months, we both headed off to university, promising to try and make it work. However, a week of sporadic contact, she went quiet, and I only heard from her once every 24 hours or so. Having followed your advice throughout the relationship, I didn't chase. I stepped back, contacting her once, then waited for her to respond. During one of the phone conversations we had, I suggested that I come visit. Ideally, I would have asked her to come with me, but this seemed unreasonable since she had started university a week later than me and was still in her fresher week. So she needed to be meeting people, going to introductory classes, etc. I also wanted to wait for a bit, but realized with the lack of communication, I was losing her. Well, the idea, again, it's like you get into a situation like this, you don't really know the book that well, and now she's away from you, and you think, I got to play games, and you might be coming off as too much of a cold fish. I'm seeing that a lot lately. It seems like over the past few weeks, a lot of the emails that I've answered, I see guys do that. They just turn into emotionless zombies and act like they don't care, and it's not a big deal, especially when they're flirting with other guys, and then they flirt with the other guys more and more, and they literally start losing the girl to another guy just because the guy basically communicates, I don't really care about you. If you want to date the other dude, I don't really care. And then that ends up happening. He's like shocked. But obviously these are not things you're going to encourage when you're in an exclusive monogamous relationship. He says, just as I was leaving for the long drive, she canceled, saying she would not be in that evening, but was staying with friends. Wow, that really sounds like she really wants to see her boyfriend, love of her life, guy. Even if she got pregnant, and it was his, of course, she doesn't think she'd get an abortion. She thought that she would keep it. Literally a few weeks before, she's telling him these things. But if you look at her actions, her words and her actions really don't mean anything. And if she is, which obviously I know she is, if she's somebody that loyalty doesn't mean anything to, they flip just like that. People that are disloyal tend to be narcissistic. They tend to be dishonest. They tend to be selfish. And that's the way they are. And so when she says, oh, I love you, you're my soulmate, it's wonderful, she really feels that. But 2 weeks later, she could be at college and there's a new guy there and you're somewhere else. Hey, it just kind of happened. And they don't feel any remorse. That's just the way it is. That's the way people like that are. And getting upset about it's not going to help you. Because the reality is, loyalty doesn't mean anything to this girl. He says, and I've learned that the hard way. So he says, annoyed, I reluctantly agreed to go the next day, which was weak, I know, but again, I felt like I had to see her to find out what was going on. So the power is obviously shifted at some point, and now you're pursuing more, and she's backing away. She doesn't want you to come. She did. I mean, think about it. 6 months after telling you all those things, oh, I'm kind of busy. You know, maybe you can come by tomorrow. I don't know what the drive is like, but that, I mean, personally, if I was here now, I wouldn't be too fucking excited to jump in a car and drive 2, 3, 4, 5 hours away, however many hours away it happens to be. He says, I went the next day only to find her wearing some other guy's jumper, which she said was from a house party the night before. He says it was a lie. So obviously she has an honesty problem as well. She proceeded to ignore me the entire evening, texting, as it turned out, this guy from the night before right in front of me. Now you're seeing what kind of a person she really is. She's sweet to you when she wants something, when she wants to make you feel like she cares, but because she's found a new toy to play with, this other guy, you're the old toy, so you go to the bottom of the toy box now. She even sat there saying cruel things about how forced the conversation was. I would have just said, you know what, I didn't come all the way out here to watch you texting another dude or wearing some other dude's clothes or being rude to me. So you got two choices. You can apologize and suck up to me and make up for it and treat me good and convince me why you're never going to do that again. Otherwise, I'm packing my shit, I'm hopping in my car, and you're never going to see me again. Because this is so rude and so disrespectful and you're crossing the line. It's not acceptable. So what's it going to be? If she's like, pack your shit and go. A woman has to know that if she pushes a guy too far, he will walk and never look back. I demanded to know what was going on, and she explained that she had gone home with him the night before, sleeping in his bed, but insisted nothing had happened. Now this is a woman that we already know lies. She asked for a break, but I told her that there was no point in this and to call me if she changed her mind. I can't understand what happened. Well, as we get to the last paragraph here, he reveals some of the things that she had been saying all along from the beginning when they met. I can't understand what happened. As I said, the relationship was so intense and she seemed so into it. And if you look up narcissistic behavior, you're going to see a lot of things that this woman has done fall right. I mean, just no empathy at all for this poor guy. You're my soulmate. Oh, I have met somebody else. And by the way, I'm so busy texting this guy that I don't have time to talk to you right now. So I'm just going to ignore you. Not only was she writing such loving things on her private blog and saying how much she wanted our relationship to work, at the end of the day, they're just words. Her words and her actions are not congruent. She also gave me one of her prized possessions when we left, so she must have meant it at the time. Of course, at the time, but this is obviously somebody that's narcissistic and dishonest, and loyalty doesn't mean anything to her. She also spoke of what we would do at Christmas, about our future lives, our kids, etc. However, she also said worrying things. So this is where the red flags are that he just said, not a big deal at all. Which suggested to me that she never believed the relationship could work at a distance and with the university. She told me that we would try to make it work, although she sounded deeply unsure. So trying, it's basically, I'm not going to really try that. In other words, she's telling you she's going to half-ass it, which that's basically what she did. She also said that she had never wanted to go to university with a boyfriend, but couldn't end things with me. So she was lying to you about that. She was telling you what you wanted to hear. Again, somebody with no empathy, somebody that tends to be narcissistic, can say something like that because she's thinking, well, I don't want to hurt his feelings, and I'm not ready to blow the relationship up yet. So I'll just lie to him, because that's more convenient for me. She also told me that she had cheated on her ex when he went on holiday for 2 months without her and was terrified of messing things up with me. Next statement is everything you need to know. Because she always self-sabotages the good things in life. Now, if you had read my book 10 to 15 times, there is a story in there about a woman that I dated on her very first date. She said, I fuck all my relationships up. And I heard that, and I can remember, I can close my eyes and imagine her as if we were sitting there at that dinner table, just like it had just happened, even though that was about 15 years ago, that particular moment. And I can see her saying it, I can see the look in her face, and I remember what I was feeling inside. I was like, I'm going to be different. I'm different. And also, she was seeing another guy who she had initially told me that she wasn't seeing him anymore, but she actually was. And so she was when I met her, she was actually with another guy. But again, it's fate. It's meant to be. We have all this chemistry. All these sparks are flying. Everything's passionate. It's great. We got to be soulmates. This is amazing. It feels so good. But yet the bottom line was that she, in essence, was lying to him, and she was lying to me about what was really going on. And that what was really going on is she was dating him and she was dating me and deceiving both of us about it. But despite that, even when I found that out later, 3 months later, because she had eventually blown him off and we started seeing each other more, I was like, I'm going to be different. And the emotions and the things that she said to me were just as intense as what this woman has said to this guy. So when I read this, it makes me chuckle because I've seen this pattern before. I've heard things like this. And then when you look at the context, I fuck all my relationships up. You hear something like that and you go, nah, not a big deal. She always self-sabotages the good things in life. So he says, looking back, it seems like she wanted things to work, but never believed that they would, like she was expecting to cheat. Because she knows herself. Remember, what did Maya Angelou said? When someone tells you who they are, believe them. She told him exactly who she was. She's a liar and a cheater. And she's not capable of loyalty. She told him that at the beginning. But he did what I did when I was younger and didn't know any better and thought, I'm going to be different. Well, you weren't that different any more than I was. Again, people don't change who they are. They may become a better version, but at the end of the day, a liar's a liar. They might not lie as much, but at the end of the day, they're still devious people. What confuses me is how she could be so cold when we split, only a few weeks after we had been on a Saturday to a Barcelona terrace with her telling me that I was her world. You were her world only in that moment back then. And right now it sounds like some other dude is becoming her world. This is just typical kind of narcissistic behavior. Selfish, no empathy, just doesn't fucking care. And now you're being discarded because she's found somebody else to use. Don't take it personally. It's the way it is. But the bottom line is you didn't read the book 10 to 15 times. Because if you had that example about the relationship that I had with the girlfriend that was dating the other guy and who was with another guy when I met her, it's the same kind of thing. She's telling you she's disloyal. She's been disloyal in the past. And she's also telling you she's afraid she'll be disloyal to you. So there really is, she's totally acting consistently. Remember, people will act consistently with who they view themselves to be. So, from that perspective, she is exactly who she told you that she was. So there's no reason to feel bad about it. It's not your job to change her or fix her or save her or try to make her into an honest person, because that's just not who she is. She's strictly fuck buddy material, friends with benefits, and that's it. That's the reality. If you still want to hang out with her, invite her to come see you. I would never call or text this woman ever again. She must do 100% of the calling, texting, and pursuing from now on. She's got to earn another shot with you. If you're looking for a girlfriend, she definitely ain't it. But if you'd still like to hook up from time to time, or maybe when you're back in town, again, let her do 100% of it, and if she does, reach out, make a date, hang out, have fun, and hook up. Don't ever go to see her again. She must come to you. Think about it. If she's strictly a fuck buddy, then you're not going to go out of your way for her. You'll go to your front door, or wherever you are in your house, you'll make the trip from, say you're sitting on your couch, to the front door to let her in when she comes over to visit, but that's your contribution. That's the maximum amount of energy that you're willing to expend to spend time with her, because she just doesn't warrant it. And I mean, at the end of the day, this was all preventable because she told you up front what she was really like. But again, you made the mistake, like I once did when I was younger and didn't know any better, of thinking that you're going to be different. And then afterwards, you're thinking, how could this be? I don't get it. I'm supposed to be different, but yet she treated me the same way as this other guy. Just like Ayn Rand said, you can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. Definitely something to think about. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching session. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions for booking whichever option works best for you. And I will talk to you soon.